In the heart of a verdant land, where the sun kissed the earth with a gentle golden light, lay an estate of unparalleled splendour. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold, a wise and wealthy father stood upon a hill with his 2 sons, the vast expanse of their home stretching out before them like a promise. This was a place of peace, of abundance, a testament to a lifetime of hard work and careful stewardship, a legacy meant to be shared. The younger son, his heart brimming with a restless ambition and a thirst for the world beyond their serene hills, stepped forward. With a confidence that bordered on arrogance, he made his demand. "Father, give me the share of the property that is coming to me." A shadow of sorrow passed over the father's face, a deep and silent grief for a choice he could not prevent. With a heavy heart, he acquiesced, handing his son a heavy purse filled with gold, a fortune that represented a piece of his very soul. Mounted on a fine, spirited horse, the younger son turned his back on his home. The world unfurled before him like a map of endless possibilities, and his eyes shone with the thrill of unwritten adventures. He rode towards the distant horizon, leaving behind the familiar comfort of his father's house for the siren call of a life he believed would be entirely his own, a life of absolute freedom. He arrived in a bustling, distant city, a vibrant tapestry of noise, colour and temptation. The son dove headfirst into a life of wild extravagance. Days were filled with lavish feasts, nights with high-stakes gambling and raucous parties. He surrounded himself with fleeting friendships, bought with his quickly dwindling fortune. Yet, through the dizzying montage of pleasure, a hollowness began to grow within him. The initial thrill faded, replaced by a profound and gnawing emptiness that no amount of wine or revelry could fill. Then, disaster struck. A severe famine ravaged the land, and the son's wealth, once a mighty river, had run dry. His fair-weather friends vanished, leaving him destitute and alone. He found himself in a desolate, muddy field, his fine clothes replaced by tattered rags. To survive, he took the most degrading job imaginable for a man of his heritage, feeding pigs. Starved and desperate, he longed to eat the very husks the swine were eating, a stark symbol of how far he had fallen. One day, huddled in the filth, he caught his own reflection in a murky puddle. The face that stared back was not the confident young man who had left home, but a gaunt, broken stranger. In that moment of utter despair, shame washed over him, followed by a flicker of resolve. He would return home, not as a son but as a hired servant, begging for a place he did not deserve. He began the long, arduous journey back, each step a penance for his folly. All the while, back at the estate, the elderly father had never given up hope. Day after day, he would stand on his balcony, his gaze fixed on the distant road, his heart aching with a constant, patient longing for the return of his lost child. The seasons changed, but his vigil remained unbroken, a silent testament to an unwavering love. Then, one afternoon, the father spotted a lone, faltering figure on the horizon. His eyes, though old, recognized the familiar gait. A surge of pure, unadulterated joy coursed through him. He did not wait, he did not hesitate. He ran, his robes flying behind him, and threw his arms around the filthy, shamefaced boy. It was a powerful, all-encompassing embrace of forgiveness, a reunion that washed away all sin and sorrow. "Bring the best robe and put it on him," the father commanded his servants, "and put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. Let us eat and celebrate." A joyful feast was prepared. The forgiven son, now dressed in fine garments, sat at the table, a ring of honour on his finger, overwhelmed by a wave of gratitude and love he had never imagined possible. As evening fell, the older son returned from a long day of toiling in the fields. Hearing the sounds of music and celebration, he was filled with confusion that quickly hardened into a bitter anger. He saw his disgraced brother being honoured and felt the sting of injustice. He had been loyal, he had been diligent, yet there was no party for him. The father came out and spoke to him, his voice calm and filled with a profound tenderness. "My son," he explained, "you are always with me and everything I have is yours. But we had to celebrate and be glad, because this brother of yours was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." As the father's words settled in the cool night air, the anger in the older son's heart began to soften, replaced by a dawning understanding. Under a canopy of a million stars, the family was whole once more. The image was a powerful reminder that forgiveness is the highest form of love, a beacon of hope that illuminates the path home, no matter how far one has strayed.